Friends, hello and welcome. Today I just thought I would offer a few thoughts on the subject of unbelief and as it pertains to this phenomenon of deconstruction. But of course I want to stay a little bit more practical and address more broadly the issue of unbelief or skepticism or agnosticism, atheism, and the like. And I think before I do so, it's worth recollecting the meaning of theology. Because, of course, we have to think about the kinds of words which we exchange about God. And in so doing, we need a theology. Which, of course, that word comes from the combination of two words that literally means a word about God. But in that regard, I would make a distinction between two kinds of theologians. There are theologians who give a word on God, and then there are theologians who give a word to God. Now, the distinction that I'm essentially drawing there is to say that the first kind of theologians have treated God as a subject matter, something to be spoken on or about, but it is something that's divorced from the immediate sort of effects or consequences in one's own life. And that's the repercussions of the second kind of theologian, the one who offers a word to God. And so I would say that the kind of anxiety, albeit the repulsion even, the despair, the dizziness, the weariness that is often experienced by unbelievers and skeptics towards that of religion, and Christianity especially, is because there's this amalgamation, there's this conglomerate monster of this infinitely vast and infinitely varying and infinitely disagreeing subject known as theology. That is to say, there's this infinite landscape of ideas that are given as far as words on God. And so the anxiety ensues precisely because they don't know how to mangle themselves with this sort of tradition, with this landscape, as it were. And naturally, and I think rightfully so, one should feel a kind of dizziness or weariness. Because in that regard, in pursuing that sort of emphasis upon God as an object of knowledge, one entirely regrets the fact that this object of knowledge relates to oneself essentially, as a self. Such as to say that the pursuit that one is after is the relation which consists between self and God, not between self and an object of truth. Because after all, our pursuit for truth and goodness and beauty is not merely truth for 10 or 15 more minutes, but it's truth everlasting. And it's not for truths of geometry or truths of biology, but it's truth itself, unlimited, infinitely rich, and quenching, moreover.